Hey there, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. Today, the reading will cover in two sections. It'll cover December 16th through the 22nd, so the week of that. We'll do a quick, brief overview of that. And then we will do the monthly reading for the season of Capricorn, which runs from the 22nd of December through the 19th of January. So for that part, we'll do a 9-card spread. I do want to thank you so much for stopping by, for your likes, your shares, your comments, for taking the time to connect with me. It really helps when I'm trying to do the readings if I've, had that energy exchange with you. It's easier for me to pick up your energies in it. And so thank you very much for that. And as always, I'd like to recommend that you take a look at your sun, your moon, and your rising. Your sun sign, it's the core of you. It's how you view the world. It's your value system. But your rising sign is how the world's going to view you. That's going to be, basically your personality. It's how you interact with the world. And the moon sign is how you react and respond emotionally to the reactions of other people around you, the interactions of the parents, and also a planet's parent interaction for sure. Okay, so let's just look a little bit at the week. What we've got going on this week is we start out with the moon is in. Before I dive into that, real quick, I am doing a 2020 preview, doing yearly videos for everybody for the general. They will be up as I complete them, no particular order that you could easily discern. Basically, it's based on what Spirit's guiding me and loosely on how many views and stuff I've received for different signs over the last 6 months. Then I'm going to offer a pre-recorded 2020 preview with a few additional cards in it for just $20.20, and actually wanted to go ahead and put all my $29.99 pre-recorded videos on sale between now and the end of December 31st of 2019. They will also go on sale for the 2020. You can purchase one now and have it later, or you can purchase one as a gift certificate for somebody, and I will send you a gift certificate for it that you can wrap up and hand to them as a gift. So, and if you would like to buy, a couple for yourself, you can always stack them up, and that'll be fine. They will be good through the end of 2020. So, let's see what we have going on here. We start the week with the moon in Leo. And so the moon in Leo, it's wrap-up time. It's taking action. It's being organized about how you do it. It's like putting the effort and energy in to do that. And then we have the moon moving on Tuesday and Wednesday into Virgo. And in Virgo, it is definitely about being organized and analyzing and working your way through it and understanding that you are resilient. You can overcome. You have learned there's wisdom and there's from the growth and the activities that have been going on, but you have this idea, this plan, this thing that you're working on that you've been working on for a little while. And so there's this need to really kind of focus in on that and see what you can do in a very analytical, practical way. On Thursday and Friday, the moon is going to be in Libra. Libra's all about finding the balance, but the thing here is that it's your reputation, it's your very public persona that's going to be on display. So kind of balancing out the scales of karmic justice, right? So if you have been putting your best foot forward, you should be receiving recognition that you feel good about, and interactions that'll be good. If you've been more along the lines of kind of not putting the work in, you're going to find that wow, this is very interesting. You're going to find that people will respond more negatively in your direction. And so it really is very kind of a little mini karma lesson. So that's something to be paying attention to on Saturday. On Saturday, the moon is going to move into Scorpio. really early in the morning, around 7:30, something like that in the morning, and it will be this opportunity to do a little bit of a deep dive. So like really get down into your emotions and think about what's been going on, how do you feel about it. And so there's some of that stuff still being stirred up. We still have, for a little while longer, we still have Mars sitting there in Scorpio, so it's still churning up some of this stuff and helping bring it to the surface so that it can be eliminated in time for all the stuff that's happening coming up, started with the eclipse season. So we're still working through some stuff. So clearing out that energy and allowing that to happen. So explore your true feelings about things. Those difficult conversations that need to be had, they need to be had. There are a lot of difficult aspects to that moon in Scorpio from a lot of the planets. So these conversations that need to be had, they might not need to be had this minute. You might want to give it a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest, because but not your feelings. Work your way through it, figure out what it is so that you can present your ideas a little easier, a little to a more receptive audience. And you will notice that there is like a breakdown of some situation that's not working, right? There's something, that full moon shone a light on something, something's not working, and things are starting to unravel, but they're supposed to, and so let them fall away. Let them fall away. It is a breakthrough, so allow it to happen. And so there's that final push through, the final resistance to surrender to the divine, to allow that to happen in preparation for coming up on that new moon eclipse that we're having in Capricorn next week. So, all right, overall energy for this week for you, Gemini. Okay, so you have the Knight of Swords. That is your card. That is speaking your truth. But again, like I said, speaking your truth, but trying to find a better way to say it. And I believe you had the Knight of Swords last week too. So there seems to be a little bit of residual of it, but it's like finding the balance and finding a way to move forward in your life that where you need to pay attention and be concentrating on where you're going and what you're doing, dodging and weaving, but trying to bring the fun back in. And so once again, though, I have to caution you about how it is that you express to the world what it is that you're thinking about. So, wow. Okay, so the clarifiers for this energy is you have mouse spirit, tend to small things. So that's that moon and Virgo energy of analyzing and paying attention to the details. So definitely I would say on, what is that, Tuesday and Wednesday would be a real good day to kind of do a little more analyzing of a situation to figure out how you're going to manage it and what you're going to do. Then you have the owl spirit, which is you are now able to see things clearly. And I think that full moon that happened in your sign of Gemini definitely illuminated some issues for you, things that you realize, oh, wait, I could see that clearly. Maybe that's not so good. I'm moving forward now because we have the Chariot, right? I'm moving forward, still have some things to say, speaking my truth. But here's the beautiful card that you have to finish it all up. You have the Starfish spirit, open to infinite possibilities. And so I think as you release and remove the things from your life that are not working, paying attention to the details, you are opening the door to these infinite possibilities that can really change and transform your life. And so, yes, you are definitely at the end of a cycle, big time end of the cycle when Capricorn comes into play. And so we move into Capricorn, as I said, on Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, depending on what part of the world you are in. It's 11:19 p.m. on Saturday, on Saturday the 21st. And so the overall energy for this is you have completion, and you have the rattle, and you have the sun. And the sun is always about a new cycle also. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the book about these particular ones, because there is just, it's really, I never like to second guess this particular author and the stuff that, well, it's a group of authors, but the way they write things are just, ooh, so amazing. So completion is number 9. Here we go. All things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is the nature of life, the seed, the flower, the fruit, and of all of human relationships. Completion suggests the fullness of the moment and the need to transform the old and form it into a new one. You have finished a cycle and there is no more growth or benefit from hanging on to the old. In regards to relationships, it's time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. In your ventures, it is time for you to reap your harvest. Completion is a time of celebration. It is the end of the summer when the fruit is ripe. 43 and 53. Okay, so that is a 9, and 9 is an end of a cycle. And then you have 43, which is a very spiritual number, followed up by a 53, which is an 8, which is infinite. Again, the infinite possibilities that you have over here with the starfish. And so that kind of rolls right on into that. So, the rattle. The rattle says, the rattle is a spirit caller carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future. Closing prayer. Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to prayer for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. Then we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, and everything we need is provided for us. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of the spirit, but be careful. They are very sharp and can hurt you and others, kind of like that Knight of Swords, if they're not used mindfully. Set your old tools aside and take up a drawing instrument of the spirit. You are consciously stepping into a partnership with the divine. This is time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. And it kind of feels to me like, okay, so you are completing a cycle, and so prayer and asking for guidance on which direction to take next, to move forward carefully, balanced in a way that is for the best and the highest good of all. Yes, you're leaving behind a situation, but maybe throwing a stick of dynamite into it isn't really necessary, and maybe you can leave with things on the best possible terms, whether it's a job or a partnership, business or intimate. Maybe it's just time to move on. Maybe you've completed school and now it's time to get a job and move in a new direction. There's some kind of a thing that's going on here. It's a definite end of the cycle, but because I see the Knight of Swords here, I wonder if it's not a difficult ending. And honestly, with that energy from that eclipse, it was happening, not eclipse, but full moon, it was happening at the 12-12 gateway. And it's a real opportunity for you to wrap up that old karmic cycle, let it go, and step through the gateway and allow yourself to move into a higher connection with spirit. And so we have the sun, and the sun acknowledges by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In tradition, it is seen as feminine. In other traditions, it is seen as feminine or full power. Either way, the most brilliant light for all beings allows life to sprout from the dark feminine earth. It can be gentle and warming, close to sunset or the sunrise in the fall or the winter, but it can be destructive, as in the zenith during a scorching summer. Have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? It is time to come out of your cave and savor the life-growing light of our star. The sun rekindles your passion and your creative energy. Life is calling you to shine your light and to add your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. And when I see this moving forward, it's such a playful energy of a way to move forward. And so I feel like this cycle, you knew it was coming. You knew the end. I don't think you were surprised by the fact that there was a cycle that was ending, but I think the month of Capricorn season, this next, 30 days or 30 days here, there's a lot of moving forward in trying to find the joy and the fun and the creativity in your life again. And we see this again with the overall energy of the garden here. And so it is children that are out exploring their universe. We've got the couple of things about this card is she's peering down closely, trying to get close to Earth and seeing what there is. So remaining grounded. And this spoke about really coming into contact with the earth and remaining grounded and getting yourself outside and having some fun. And then he's got a slingshot. And so he's aiming to the future. So letting your inner child out to play while being a grown up, right? While handling the situation not as a temper tantrum, not as, oh, how dare they, whatever it is, but instead finding a way to go, okay, I learned an important lesson here. I was exploring, I learned something new. How am I going to distill this into wisdom for use later? I see things clearly now, but I am moving forward. And I am shooting for the new direction. And so the key to the situation is you getting in touch with your higher self. Spending time in prayer, contemplating, asking Spirit what's the best guidance. Sometimes a really easy way, if you're not a regular practitioner of meditation, start by journaling. Because through journaling, you start to have this conversation with yourself, which is your higher self, where the wisdom and the knowledge of all of your lifetimes is being kept, held for you until you need it. And so now would be a good time to get it. And so you could see they're writing it down. She's getting the information and someone's writing it down. And so channeling your higher self through journaling seems to be like a really good way to get started here. In the recent past, you were trying to figure out, how do I get my wishes fulfilled? How do I get what it is that I want out of life? Maybe it was a process of trying to figure out what it was that you want out of life. This says, wishes fulfilled. There's such bounty on that table. There's so many things there, so much goodness. And so in the house up here of the book, it's like trying to discern and figure out what it is that you really want. What are the wishes that you want? And so I think that you've recently come to the conclusion that whatever the situation was that you were currently in was not working. That you're moving on somehow, like in some direction. So the way that you are going to help transform the situation to the best and highest good of all is only how you think about it. Okay, so in the upright position, when we have the treasure here, he is standing in the middle of the ruins of his home, like it's been invaded and people have stolen stuff and it's all been tossed, and it's like his whole life is a mess. But if you had this in the reverse, it would say that in the book it talks about how this treasure chest here falls open and hidden gifts are revealed. And so in order to transform your life, look for the hidden gifts. Look for the opportunities. Look for, the fact that whatever the situation was that I think you knew needed to end, needed change, needed to be completed, it was holding you back from getting your wishes fulfilled that you were really thinking about. And so that's part of the hidden gems, but also look around for other opportunities. Maybe you meet somebody new that you actually click with. Maybe you find a better place to live. Maybe it's just that you didn't like the apartment you were in and you're finding a better one. You're like, you were sick and tired of the heat not working, or something like there was some kind of a situation that needed a cycle that needed to be completed, and now you're being allowed to move forward. But looking for the hidden gift in it is going to be the key to a successful transformation. And here you are again, tapping into your higher self and your knowledge. And there's the Hilaron. And the Hilaron, excuse me, I might sneeze. Oh, guess not. Okay, so the Hilaron is the keeper, the organizer of your Akashic Records library. So channeling, asking the Hilaron, asking your higher self, not the same thing, but in connection with each other, to help you access what it is that you need to do next. I think during the next cycle here, this Capricorn cycle, where we have so much interesting planetary action going on. We have 2 eclipses. We have the new moon eclipse in Capricorn that's happening on the 26th of December. And then on the 11th of January, we have the full moon eclipse of Cancer. And then the next day, we have Pluto and Saturn in a perfected conjunction, but already you should be feeling this change, this boundaries that need to be broken through in order to have the deep transformation and the big change. And everybody's going through this change in one way or the other. There's something major shifting and changing for everybody on some level in their life right now. And so looking for the gift of what that is and how that works for you. And we also have Jupiter sitting there in Capricorn. And so Jupiter is actually going to end up going into retrograde, and it's going to pass back across at some point here. 3 times it's going to cross the path of Saturn and Pluto. And so while they like to expand, the other ones like to transform and create structures that are sound. And so this is a big year. 2020 is a big year because Jupiter is in Capricorn for the entire 2020. And so over the course of the next year, there's going to be all this movement, this shifting and changing, but Saturn will be moving further and further away from Pluto. And so that'll be a bigger space to, okay, so we've had the ending, the transformation, and as it expands out, there's more opportunities for growth. And even as Jupiter passes back and forth, those areas will be expanded. And so it's a big year, 2020. So releasing now and letting go of what's not working and checking in with your higher self for direction and guidance on where to go becomes even more important, even more opportune. This transformation can really benefit you. So in the past, you have been very confused about which path to take. I'm not surprised to see that. It keeps showing up for everybody just about like that. And okay, again, here we have the sands of time shifting, Uriel and the Sphinx. This is ancient knowledge and wisdom that you can gain from the hill around. You will feel it in your heart. When you start doing this work, when you start channeling, either through meditation or through journaling, you will know in your heart what is ringing true. You will know which way to go. You could think that, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ever going to figure this out. And I can tell you what I'm seeing right now is it would be really hard to miss unless you don't do this. Take the time to try to have this communication, to have this. So channeling, when I first started really trying to develop a relationship with spirit and a language base, because although I would hear some things and I would get some images, I wasn't really sure if what I was getting was accurate or not. I started buying oracle decks. I have way more than maybe I need, but I still keep buying them because I love them. I was kind of addicted. But that was my language base. And so you can use oracle decks as a way to communicate. And if you ever really, Alana Fairchild, you can't go wrong buying any one of her decks. I'm not using one of hers here today, but usually, I mean, the in-depth conversation that she writes in her books is amazing. So in the recent past, the obstacle was the willow. The willow represents your roots into your emotions, drawing in and getting in contact with the roots of who you are. And so I feel, especially because it was in the verse, I feel like you either felt like it was raining in your life, like the water was just pouring all over you, or you were not tapping down into the water of your emotions, and it made it hard. But I think eventually you had to make the decision. And so here we are with diversity, and this is all about change. And so right now, yes, you are making changes, but diversity here means that you have options. And so the transformation, when you look at it like, okay, the gift here is that I have options. I have options, lots of things that I can choose from. There's 5 options on this table to choose from. Oh my God. Yes, and here's your gift, the fated meeting. Letting go of this situation will allow you to be right on time for this connection. Now, this connection could be, it's a soulmate connection. It does not necessarily mean a love partner, right? It could be a business partner. It could be this person that is your next best friend for the rest of your life that helps you with things, like whatever it is. But there is a person that you agreed to meet at a certain time and place. and the time and place is coming together. But again, this is you getting in touch with who you are and what you really want, and your choices. Your choices. And so there's not bad choices and good choices. There's just choices. So pick a path and ask Spirit to guide you, and you will be where you're supposed to be right on time. So don't let fear stall you out. So we have enjoy growth and reap rewards. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. Growth, it's the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle, and be graceful in movement and action. This is definitely about being willing to make this transformation, not fighting it, not resisting it, but allowing yourself to go, okay, you know what? This is a good thing. I don't know what is coming, but I know that it's important, and I know that I'm excited to see what's around the corner, what's around the bend. And so unless you let go of where you are and start moving into a new direction, I don't know that you'll find out, right? If you're sitting there refusing to leave, then you're never going to find out what it is that you're supposed to be finding. And you have spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. That's this one. You're going to know in your heart when you've met this person who is this. You'll be like, oh, there you are. There you are. I knew you were there. So if you're hanging on to a situation and it's feeling more and more like a relationship, but it absolutely could be a work situation, but it's a major situation. And if you've been hanging on to something so hard, refusing to let go, you aren't going to get to this connection, that this contract, this soulmate contract that, you guys said, hey, we're going to go and have these experiences, we're going to learn these things, and then we'll meet up and we're going to take what we've learned and move forward with it. Okay, so this is cautious but wise action. There's a need to be cautious and pay attention to the details, right? We've got the mice telling us that you need to pay attention to the details, and honestly, if you don't want to wipe out when you're doing that, skateboarding there, you definitely need to be cautious, but it's moving forward. And so you have like the Knight of Pentacles energy here of, he's moving pretty fast, trying to maintain his balance. He's saying be cautious as you go. But in order to get to this part, you have a lot of things happening. And so, yes, this feels more and more like a relationship breakup. We have the Three of Winter, which is the Three of Swords. So reach out to others for love and support to help you along the way. You have the Five of Summer, which is the Five of Cups. That's that regret energy. And there is a need for balance because you have Temperance here. It says, take everyone's input into consideration. Merge viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time. There's no need to rush. So take your time. There's no need to rush. And so I think when I see these, based with these, you are moving forward. But with the Knight of Swords energy and that Chariot energy, you might be wanting to run as fast as far as you can in some direction. And you are being guided, I believe. It's okay to exit the situation. It's definitely concluded, but to do it in a very balanced way, to be methodical, to think your way through it, to take step-by-step action to have the best results. But, I mean, come on. These are some amazing results when you have your Fated Meaning and all of these very spiritual cards. And all the spiritual cards that you have, they're at the key and they're in the future. And so you are moving into connection with who you are and what you came here to do, and that is some beautiful, beautiful energy. So, Gemini, wow, good stuff there. Not easy. I don't think anyone's going to find these transitional times particularly easy because there's so much karma being dumped. It's just being resolved and cleared out, and so these are from lifetimes, and this was what was supposed to happen, and we agreed. we bravely, wisely, but courageously, for sure, decided that this is when we were going to incarnate, so we could do this, so we could be part of this process. And so, you know, it's time to go. So it says, dear you, oh my, things are stirred up and change is upon you. Well, no kidding, right? This is a cause for celebration. No need to be nervous, but know that it is okay to be afraid when faced with uncertainties of life. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, rather in spite of it, or even because of it. Step into the unknown now, let go of the branch you are clinging to, and let spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally, leaving the rest up to us. There is a load of miracles being shipped your way. Remember that what philosopher Joseph Campbell said? Take one step toward the gods and they will take 10 toward you. We are all doing the destiny cha-cha-cha on your behalf. That's right. Don't be afraid to dance. The fated meeting. They are arranging things. But you have to let go. You have to let go and start moving forward in the most balanced way that you possibly can, in the most organized way that you possibly can, and call on your friends. If you know, a heartbreak is a heartbreak, and sometimes you need to talk about it. But I would say write it down too, because if you write down all of your thoughts and your feelings, then you can actually burn them and turn them over to spirit, so that you're not hanging on to them by retelling your story over and over and over and over to everybody. And so when you call on your friends, say, hey, I need to get out of the house today. Let's go do something fun, right? And so save you're pouring your heart out into your journal so that you can burn it and turn it over to spirit, so that you are not walking around in that muck and mud of that lower energy vibration, and you can start moving forward in a really positive way a lot quicker. So of course this can't be every Gemini, so again I'm going to say, if it is not a relationship that is changing, something is. Try to apply this the best way as possible. Also check out your sun, your moon, and your rising, where you might find a message that more closely resonates with your current situation. All right, you take care, and we will chat soon. I look forward to seeing where all this eclipse energy takes us, right? All right, you take care.